Hi, Chris. Can you hear me?
I can, Neil. Yep.
Sorry about the delay here. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. I hope you're well.
Pleasure.
Um,
Likewise.
can you give us, your team was pretty banged up last week. Can you give us a sense of are things looking better in terms of health for tomorrow night?
Yeah, we're still a little bit banged up, but that's part of it right now. So what I would tell you is each day we feel like we're getting stronger with the healthy guys in terms of them getting fitter for sure, and then the guys that have been injured are slowly coming off that list. So we think we're getting stronger each day, and then even stronger tactically in terms of what we're trying to do, more on the same page.
Buffering.
How you doing, Chris?
Good, thank you.
Good. Is there any specific updates? We heard yesterday that Josie's MRI result is back and that it was pretty good, was the quote I got. And the other thing was, is there a possibility that some of the other guys who didn't play last week, like Pozuelo, might be able to play?
Most of those guys right now, even specifically Josie and Oso, they're in this day to day. We're just trying to balance out, the risk to reward. But Pierre Barou and Stephen Haynes are, Fabian, our performance crew. They're returning. They're getting guys the return to play where they're ready to go. So they're doing a lot on the field right now, and the question is, do we use them for this match and with what's at stake? I think we're going to have some good options, but I will tell you that Alejandro's doesn't look like he'll be ready, but a bunch of other guys are day to day and will be considered.
John Molinaro.
Hi, Chris. John Molinaro here. I hope you're doing well down there. How do you approach this game? I mean, from a tactical perspective, because you had, obviously it was a great result down in Mexico. Not that you want to necessarily tip your hand, but do you take the same approach? Is there something that you change? How do you approach it just overall?
Well, I think you can see, and everyone can see that we went down there to be aggressive and get a result and stick to who we want to be, understanding different parts of who we want to be look different at different times, if you can stay with me there. But we had a chance to score 15 seconds into the match by being aggressive, by being on the front foot, by sticking to, again, how we want to play, but how we want to play the series. I think that as we are getting fitter and stronger, our mentality will be to be aggressive. I don't think it's a secret, and we score a goal based on that, right? It wasn't, some would say it's lucky. Well, we have a mindset of forcing mistakes, so we did that, and I think we're comfortable in this climate already, and again, we will approach the match in a way where we are aggressive when we have the ball and we don't. We're getting clearer each day on what that looks like and how to use that strategically in different moments. But who we are and are becoming will not change. We're just going to throw everything at it. For us, this is a final. It's a final, and we'll approach it that way. We want to, no matter what, after the match is done, know that we threw everything at the game and stuck to who we are.
Eric Giacometti.
Thanks, Ale. Hey, Chris. After last week in Mexico, you got your first look at your team in a truly competitive environment. What did you learn about your players in that moment, and what can you take into leg 2, knowing everything you learned in leg 1?
Well, we came out of that match with momentum, internal belief in, I think, what we are all doing here, how we want to play, that we can, we knew we would get tested in a big way on many levels, and we did. We were pushed hard for many different reasons, but we we passed the test. And I think the coach can talk about that, but for the players to experience that, I think that's where the belief comes from. Whether it's, you know, playing quickly or playing with a certain structure, and defensively understanding that we can be dangerous by being together and on the front foot. So I do think that there's coming out of that match, there's more belief in what we're doing. Again, the Columbus preseason match, I know gave us the confidence there. And then I think there's also, I don't know, those types of games push guys physically and mentally to places where you maybe don't know where you can go. So to see, you know, heart rates and distance covered at that altitude, and then guys are able to push themselves way outside their comfort zone, gives each player who's out there an internal confidence that they can push hard and suffer and do that together. So that locker room after the match, I mean, there's not much for me to say. There's just watching guys, the looks on their faces, knowing, hey, this is working. We believe in it. We're sticking to it, which they did, and that they can push themselves far. So we take all of that, use that, grow from it, use the momentum, and throw it out again. Everything at León.
James Grossi.
Thanks, Alejandra. Chris, normally in one of these two-legged series, you'd be looking to maximize the advantage of playing the second leg at home. I'm curious how you sort of do that given the circumstances here, and have you had a chance to sort of familiarize yourself with the park? It's a pretty scenic location, I believe.
Yeah, look, we talk about that any field is we feel at home. So that's not always the case, right? When we're at altitude in a different country than, let's say, the comfort of Canada and the US. But this one certainly feels a bit more like home. We're doing everything every day to make Orlando feel like our home on and off the field. And you know, we've had some, you know, time already at that stadium in which we'll be playing. And most recently, the one very, well, it was against Columbus. So there's a comfort there, the way the ball moves, the dimensions, the way we can, you know, there's a few things that we feel really comfortable about that we're not going to talk about so much right now. But anyhow, yeah, look, I listen, we are home, right? We there's so much of every day here, the humidity, the heat that we're getting more comfortable with. So, and look, we also, in the same breath, we don't talk about so much the home field advantage, the second leg, what the comfort. So much of it will determine that game will be what happens in that 90 minutes, just sticking to it, you know, each end of the field, guys making plays, being tuned in, alert. And that in itself is a massive challenge when you play against a team like León. A good team, well coached, you can see it, right? They can, there's nothing they don't do that well, right? They're just intelligent players, technical, smart, they're savvy. That's the challenge. So we certainly won't be looking for any real home field. It's going to be more the things that we are tangible for us that we know that we can control.
Neil Davinson.
Thank you, Alejandra. Chris, the club website posted video of your players getting their vaccination shots. Given the uncertainty that everybody's living in, one would think that would be a boost to morale or make them feel slightly better. Have you noticed, was there any uptick in mood from that?
For sure. Players, you know, when I asked the question, because I had gotten my vaccination previously, and I know how I felt with it, and I felt the same as some of the players saying, it's surreal. That's the word that was used by a few guys. It's that all this talk, all that's going on, I feel like it's already I'm more protected against the virus, and physically they are right away. The body starts preparing, and then even mentally, that you stand a little taller and feel a little bit, you know, again, protected. So every little advantage helps these days, but just in general life now, just feeling a little bit more secure. So if you can just feel that way, and then you know, as you see everyone with masks on, if it gives you a little more comfort, which I'm seeing that it does, it's a good thing. It's a positive. It's a positive that now we're feeling a little more protected, and then we ultimately protect others, you know, out there as things, you know, return back to normal. So yeah, I think it's a good question, and it definitely there's been a boost.
Steve Buffery.
Chris, how much of a challenge is it? You've got that big game tomorrow night, and then you've got your opener on Saturday in the span of 3 days, and you got a team that's a bit banged up. How much of a challenge is that for you and the players?
I think, you know, the fact that you're asking the question, you know the answer in many ways, but I'll tell you it is. But again, we're not talking. If you talk too much about it, it starts to sound like excuses inside. Forget about what people on the outside think, right? It's just on the inside. You start to, well, it's a tough task. We might be banged up. Who can play again 90 minutes or turn around? You start focusing on all the things that you don't have, all the challenges. We can talk about that it's going to be 88 degrees and, you know, 2 o'clock kickoff. Why would the league forget that? For us, it's one game at a time. You know, we're always thinking about, you know, slightly ahead to prepare for today. You know, it's always on our mind. But yeah, look, it's a challenge, but our biggest challenge right now is what's right in front of us, which is tomorrow night. It's a big challenge. We're going to need everyone that's involved to carry their weight, to contribute the way they can. The players that are not involved to be connected emotionally in every way, giving energy to what we're doing. And it's been happening here. So the players, the staff, I mean, the all for one, I've said it before, there's mottos out there that just become words. Here at this club, it is an all-in effort, everyone pulling together in the same direction. And that's what's most important, not the challenges ahead. We love the challenges. And the talk about this team is we are at our best when ... When it's altitude, when it's hot, when things are against us, when there's injuries, we are at our best when. And that's the no excuse mentality. It is. And I think you all saw it the other night. We can talk about, some might say we got outplayed. Yeah, that's a good team. It's a good team. Look what they've done. And people have seen that our young guys went after it fearlessly. Our older players carried their weight, and some. Michael Bradley, Marky Delgado. These guys played 90 minutes in this game. Look at the center backs, what they did. Alex Bono the other night, Auto and Richie. I mean, it's a big, big effort. And if you start letting little things trickle in, it becomes this you just start getting weaker, and you start letting excuses lead you. But no excuses here. We are ready, and we have enough. We have enough. We believe we're stepping on the field, throwing everything at León with a plan, with a togetherness, and we're going after the victory.
Michael Singh.
Thanks, Alejandra. Hey, Chris, you mentioned there and your young players and the role that they played last time. How big of a role do you expect them to play in this match?
Another big role. You'll see them out there again. Not maybe. You'll see the young players out there again. We believe in them. They're good players. And you guys know just as much as me. There's some guys getting like some of their first minutes. They have not played a lot here. We all recognize that there's talent, there's some potential, and everyone wants to see them, but it's trusting the young players, and we'll see it again. And I think in many ways, if I show the belief and I give them confidence and I give them clarity before they step on the pitch, the young players don't let you down. You have to understand that setting them up for success is important. To understand surrounding them with certain players and putting them in certain spots of the field and limiting how much information you're giving them. Pre-game, post-game, video, arm around, there's all this stuff that goes into it, but we will need to rely on them heavily. Noble Okello, Ralph Priso, Jacob, some of these players, they'll get some minutes. So their energy, their enthusiasm, the quality, although they're inexperienced in many, many ways, yeah, they'll be essential for us to succeed.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Neil.
Chris, we understand that Quentin Westberg was late coming to camp because of personal reasons. Presumably he's there now. Do you have a number one goalkeeper?
Well, no, we have two. We have two number ones. In my mind, in our minds, with John Conway, we see two number ones. Right now, have we chosen one? Look at it, based on certain factors and where we are at in the season and lots of things that have popped up. Yeah, I mean, Alex gets to start game one, and that's competitive. It's healthy, but we are at a place now that's healthy competition. We have two really good goalkeepers in here with big experiences in their own rights. And yeah, I mean, we think Alex played well game one.
Last question for John Molinaro, and we'll have player Richie Laryea joining us soon.
Hey, Chris, I'm not sure if you can even sort of answer this, but I'll ask it anyway. There seems to be some sort of question as to whether Joel Campbell of León has traveled with the team. I'm not sure if you even know if he's there, but assuming he is there, because he did sort of look lively in attack last game for them. I mean, what kind of threat does he pose going forward for León?
Yeah, we knew there was talk about, is he here, is he not here? We'll prepare for Joel to be here. And then, again, we won't concern ourselves too much one way or the other, because we know that we have to plan for either him or another player that can step in and do the job. But he's intelligent. He's a threat. He's a counter threat. His movements in the box, his 1v1 ability, he can run. He's a complete attacker. He can play centrally. He can drift wide. So yeah, look, there's not one threat that they have. He's one big threat, but yeah, we'll be ready for anything that they do have. And like we said last game, we hope for their best team. We do, and we hope they're at their best, because when you beat teams at their best, that for me is the most humbling thing and the most empowering thing. So we took some punches the other night. We took a team, we think that's their best team that they threw at us. They rested players the other night. I think it's a big show of respect for our team, right? A few days before leg one, they play their whole team. After now leg one, they could have played their whole group the other night. They didn't. So they know it's a big match. They respect what we can do. They'll be ready for us for sure. We're not sneaking up on them, and we'll have our hands full. But like we did in León, we will go after them. We will attack, and we'll put them in a difficult game the best that we can.
Thank you, Chris.
Sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Richie, for joining us. We start with questions. Neil Darrington.
Thank you. Hi, Richie. Nice to see you. I hope you and the family are doing well. Can you give us a sense of the mood going into tomorrow night? Your team took the best shot León could give you and emerged with a tie and an away goal. We saw from the club website that a lot of the players got their vaccinations between the two games, so that's a boost. What's the mood going into tomorrow?
Yeah, the mood going into tomorrow, I think, is very good. Everyone's ready. All the guys are excited. Like you said, we got a good result over there away, so I think it's all to play for right now. And yeah, we're excited. We're pumped. And a lot of guys are excited to get back out there and kick off this game, and then just continue to push forward for whatever's next.
Steve Buffery.
Yeah, hi, Richie. How much we saw the video on the web team's website of you guys getting your vaccinations yesterday. I mean, was that what's the feeling around the team with that happening? Do the guys feel good about it? Was there some, was it sort of a step that the players are really looking forward to doing?
Yeah, I think guys are excited about the vaccination. It puts us a step towards hopefully getting out of Florida in some extent, or being able to do different things with guys being vaccinated. So yeah, guys are happy with it, and yeah, I think overall good mood about it.
Eric?
Thanks, Ali. Hey, Rich, you guys walk away from leg one with a 1-1 result. How much does that away goal change your approach for the second leg, if at all?
I think for us, it doesn't change anything. We have to go out there and execute a game plan that we have to try to beat a good team like Leon. So I think the away goal, yes, does it help? Of course, but I don't think it changes the way we're going to play and the way we're going to approach the game, because we want to win every game we play in, and we want to win that game against Leon, even though it was difficult and the circumstances and atmosphere, whatever else you want to put into that. But we want to win, so we want to win there, and we're going to want to win again tomorrow as well. So I don't think it changes much, or if anything, how we're going to go into the game.
James Grossi?
Thanks, Alejandra. Richie, you've spent a fair bit of time down there in Florida. What's it like being back there as you prepare for this match?
Yeah, I think it's routine like any other game for any of us. We've done preseasons here before. We're all pretty familiar with the hotels and the facilities that we're using as well, with being here less than a year ago for MLS is back and all that. So yeah, I think guys are used to our surroundings, and it's hopefully try to use things to our benefits here, because we are pretty used to it now with how many times we've been here. So yeah, I think not much has really changed, and guys are also on board with being here, and everyone has a common goal to get the results, not only tomorrow, but for the rest of the season, or however long we're here in Florida for.
John Molinaro?
Hi, Richie. I hope you're keeping safe. Sorry. From the first leg, what did you make of Club León? I mean, what did you take away from that game? And what, from a tactical perspective, what would you say is sort of their most, what do you have to look out for the most tomorrow?
Yeah, from my personal observation, they're obviously a good team. They've got some good players on the attacking half of the field that can make the difference, that we're going to have to watch out for. So in that regard, I think, yeah, pretty all around good team. Obviously ex-champions and stuff like that as well. So it's a very good team, and it's not a team that we take lightly. So yeah, that's that. But then from tactically, I think they do a good job of switching the point of attack on teams and trying to kind of catch you napping or sleeping on some plays, so they can execute off of it. So I think, yeah, they're a good team.
Ramon Beter?
Thank you. Hi, Rich. I hope you're doing well. It's Ramon Betech from RB9 Food. I want to ask you, well, with this result 1-1, Toronto FC has the advantage because of the away goal. What can you do? What do you think that you can do in order to keep this advantage, or even to make this advantage bigger against Club León? Thank you and good luck.
I think, like I just said a little bit earlier, we have to stick to our game plan and do what we do. I don't think we should read too much into the results of last game and the away goal factor, because I think that could easily have you slip up, or not maybe playing the way you should be playing because you feel like you're protecting something. So like I said, we're going to go into the game with our game plan to execute and to win the game, and hopefully not have to worry about the away goal that we got away at Leon.
Michael Singh?
Hey, Richie. One game into the Chris Armas era, did you feel that everybody was sort of buying into his vision, and did you feel his vision come into play? And I guess you personally, how different is your role now under Chris?
Yeah, I think since Chris has stepped foot in the building, guys are buying into it, his philosophy and his way of playing, and we're excited and are excited to continue to play the way he wants us to play. So yeah, I think it was good. I think from the game, obviously it's our first game of the season and it will only get better, but I think people from the outside that observe can see that we are a little bit different and more aggressive defensively at times and stuff like that. So I think it's good. The guys on the team are all on board. And I think it's been great so far. So I think, yeah, all of that's good. And then for me personally, it doesn't change a whole lot for me, I think, but I think like everyone on our team defensively, it's changed things for us. But when we get on the ball, what we're doing, I think it's still us being who we are and who we've been. So yeah, I think Chris is just helping us bring it to a new level of engagement and intensity defensively, and then also implementing his attacking ideas as well onto the team, which is only going to help us because with the group we have and the group that this club has had for a long time, it just adds value that we're learning how to play in different ways and how to hurt teams in different ways as well.
Neil Davison.
Thank you. Richie, you mentioned that being in Florida was a bit of normalcy since the team is used to being there. But I wonder overall, what has training camp been like? You had a lockdown because of the outbreak of COVID-19. You had to go from Canada to the US. You haven't been able to play many games. How has this training camp felt? It sounds in many ways anything but normal, but is that just from the outside looking in? Do you feel normal there?
No, it obviously was far from normal or far from what we're used to, but it's the COVID reality of which not only us, but all the other teams in the league and the world are dealing with it. So yeah, it wasn't normal by any means, but I think like I've said, like a million guys on the team that's now, we have a very resilient group. So I don't think there's ever a point where guys were putting their heads down and saying, you know, that's that, or it's going to be another one of those years. So I think the group we have for these type of circumstances, whether in the COVID outbreak or, you know, having to relocate again or, you know, playing games based out of Florida, it doesn't matter what it might be. I think we have the group to do it and the group to, you know, overcome, you know, things like this that unfortunately only the Canadian teams are dealing with right now. But yeah, I think we have a group that doesn't make excuses or feel sorry for themselves. So yeah, it's not been normal, but guys are making it work. The club's making it work, and we're all in this together. So it helps as well.
Steve Buffery.
Richie, do the guys talk much about Saturday's league opener, despite the fact that you got an important game tomorrow, or do you just sort of keep that out of your mind? And is that a challenge not to think too far ahead at this point?
Yeah, I think for us right now, it's one game at a time. We know we do have a game on Saturday, but that's not in the back of our minds. But right now it's Leon. We have to take care of business tomorrow. And once that game's over and done with, then we can move on to Saturday and then start thinking about ways of what we have to do on Saturday for the opener. But I don't think it's, for us, we all know it's not a good idea to start thinking about tomorrow with also Saturday in mind. And, you know, that can throw people off or whatever it might be. So we're just focused on tomorrow as of right now. And as of whatever time the game finishes tomorrow, then the attention will be switched to Saturday directly. But as of right now, it's just on Leon and Wednesday.
Thank you, Richie, and thank you everyone for joining us today.